Hi, everyone. I'm Angeline Hartman. In today's missing segment, I'm going to talk to the father of a missing girl in Texas. David Cavazos is doing everything he can to find his 16-year-old daughter, Alexis. She was supposed to go straight home from work last Saturday night. She never made it. Can you tell me the last time you heard from her? It wasn't a conversation. You got a text message from her that night, right?
Correct. The last time that I have communication with Lexi would have been around 11:30 p.m. via text message.
And everything seemed fine. She was okay. What was the conversation about?
Everything was very normal. It was the same repeat conversation we've had multiple times before when she was at work. She said, "Hey, we're shutting down and we're closing up. I'll be home in a bit. I have a ride because if she doesn't have a ride from a coworker or her boss, I'll go pick her up." She said, "I have a ride. Don't worry about it. I'll see you in a bit."
And just so everybody knows, she works at a restaurant and it's just in the neighborhood about half a mile away, right?
Yes, it's just a half a mile away. It's kind of like a sports bar chicken wing place that's in a strip mall just down the street. It's called Boomer Jack's.
hmm Okay, so she says, "I'm fine. I'll see you when I get home." So that's about 11:30. You expect her home at around midnight.
Just around midnight. So around 12:15, I kind of figured because it was Super Bowl Sunday and the place was going to be busy. Maybe she was running a little bit behind. So at about 12:15, I sent her a text message and said, "Where are you? Is everything okay?" The message was showing delivered, but not showing read. So I sent her a follow-up message that said, "Hey, when you get home, please make sure that you set the alarm." Wasn't unusual. It's something that we normally do before. She's very trusted, so she has access to the full home security system, and she's able to do that. And I had also told her that I was getting tired and falling asleep.
You
And
go to bed.
I
Mm.
fell asleep, and literally about 4 hours later, maybe around 4:30, I wake up and just like I do on any other night, I grab my phone and I'm looking through my phone at social media and text messages, and I realize that I didn't get confirmation from Alexis and I don't have a text message from her. So I go to the text. I see that it's still showing as delivered and not read. And so I immediately sent a message that said, "Where are you?" It still says delivered. So the phone messages are getting to a phone somewhere, but there's no confirmation, no response. So I get on the family app that we have where we know everybody's GPS location, and I see that the GPS says she's still at work. So my immediate thought is, okay, they are busy for Super Bowl Sunday. They're probably having them stay
hmm
after, and this is a long nighter. So let me just kind of figure out what's going on here. She still didn't respond, still no text message back.
And does she usually respond when you text?
Very
You get an
quickly,
answer.
I get a red. She's attached to her phone. The phone
Yeah,
doesn't leave
like
her
lots of
sight.
teenagers.
Correct. So I normally get a red receipt right away. So I waited about 5 minutes and immediately started to panic a little bit. And so I got in my car. I drove down there, hoping to come upon a business where people were still working and kind of the hustle was going and they were trying to get things ready for Super Bowl Sunday. And I pull up to a completely dark strip mall. The facility, the business has been closed. The lights are closed. There's no cars. It's completely vacant. And
What are you saying to yourself at this point? You're thinking what?
at that point, I started thinking that either she walked home or something has happened because her phone is still showing here. And so I start to walk around the parking lot trying to see where the phone might be. Um, I check the dumpster because I start to really panic and think, well, maybe something really bad happened, and she's in there, and I made it just in time, and she's okay. So let me check. I check dumpsters, nothing. So I panic again. I'm panicking. I immediately drive back home. I log into the remote app that we have where we can gain access to the contacts that she has on her phone, and I contact her boss. I text her boss and say, "Hey." At this point, I'm trying to not get too excited, but I'm like, "Hey, I think something is going on. Where's Alexis? She never made it home." And the boss is very, very helpful, very nice. She responded back and said, um, "I am not aware of any issues. The team normally leaves all together. I just logged in and checked. The place has been locked up. There's no concerns." And I said, can you please reach out to the people that she worked with and find out who gave her a ride home? And she had responded back and said, crazy teenagers, maybe they just went to some party or something like that. And I said, no, Alexis has never, ever, ever done that. I said, please, please, please let me know when you hear from them.
So
10 minutes,
you're saying this would be out of character for her for sure if she.
completely, completely. So I wait about 10 minutes and then I start text messaging the friends that she worked with because I also have access to those contacts remotely. And I'm asking them, hey, this is Lexi's dad. Have you seen her? Do you know what's going on? We're trying to find her and she didn't come home from work. Nobody responds, but the boss does eventually respond. And she says, um, they said, or I talked to the guy that worked that night, the cook, and he had said that she left that night, or she left okay. She left out the back door. And I said, what? And so I said, I need to get that phone. There's a phone that's in your place of business. I need to get access to that phone. I need to see what's on that phone. I need to find out what happened. About 4 hours go by. I do, through the boss, gain access to the location.
And have you
We,
called police at this point or
not
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 yet?
yet, not yet, because I'm
Because you're
thinking
still trying to find her. You're thinking she's somewhere.
I love Alexis, and I know that she's not perfect. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, girl, you're probably going to get in trouble. Like you really pulled one this time. So
Hmm.
I'm not thinking anything else than maybe she's, she just turned 16. Maybe she's testing the waters just a little bit. So
Yeah,
I'm not calling the police at this point.
right.
So we actually gain access to the facility. We find the phone, and it's right next to the cashier, and between a binder and the cashier. She worked at the cashier, so I'm thinking that maybe she had her phone stored there while she was working, etc. The thing that really struck me as odd is that not only was the phone there, all of her credit cards, her debit card, she gets a $15 a week allowance. Her allowance card was there. Everything was literally just left there. So we start talking to the cook that had worked with her the night before and said, where is she? Or did you see anything? And he says, well, he said, it was a little unusual. He said, we normally go out the front door all together as a team. But Alexis, she went out the back door. He said she put a pair of dark sunglasses on. She exited the back door. And we said, did you see where she went? He said, I don't know if she got in, but I did see her walking towards a black fancy car with dark tinted windows. But I can't confirm that she went in. It looked like it might have been a Mercedes, possibly a BMW. Um, and that's all the information that we had. So at that point, that's panic, call the police. So we immediately call the police, which would have probably been, you know, maybe 2 or 3 hours after we had retrieved the phone and after we had, talked to the guy that she had worked with. And we filed the police report.
And what has happened with police since then?
The police were very supportive in taking the report. I had shared with him the information that we had regarding this vehicle that no one can identify. Told them that we need to see if we can get access to footage to find out what's going on, if this is indeed what happened. And they had been supportive, but a little slow to respond to any urgency. I remember being asked, did anything happen at the house? And I thought, okay, I know where you're going with this, and absolutely not. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that would stand out as an event that would lead you to believe what you're about to ask me. So, well, has she ran away before? I said, absolutely not. She's never ran away. And so then at that point, I've been following up with police. It took approximately, and I know that they're busy and there's lots of cases. It took approximately 25 hours to get a response from a detective. It took them 2 days after her disappearance to visit our home. It was 2 days to actually visit her work site and have conversations with her coworkers. It's just been a little slower than I'm comfortable with. It might be the process, but it's just a little uncomfortable and uneasy for me.
And so you have taken it upon yourself to you're not waiting, right? I know you've been very active on social media, gathering support, trying to get her picture out there, and doing what you can to help bring her home.
Absolutely. I'm her dad. I love her, and I will call out the cavalry. So um, I'm not someone that feels helpless all the time or feels helpless with these types of circumstances. So I've gone to social media. I've gone to the police station. I've waited down there until someone will talk to me. I've reached out to my councilman. I've reached out to other social media outlets. Anybody that will listen, anybody that will share the story, anybody that has an interest in helping Lexi.
And you have billboards up, right?
Yes, we've been so blessed that Outfront Media USA, um, their general manager, reached out and said that they wanted to help. And so her poster is on 51 digital billboards across the DFW Metroplex, and they're going to run it for 7 days.
That's amazing. Wow. What what do you think happened to her? What is your gut telling you? Because again, we just have to reiterate, she has never run away before. You guys have a good relationship. She's a straight A student, right? She's a good kid.
She's not a perfect kid. She's not a perfect kid, but she is a very good kid. She has been a role model to many of her friends. She's been a role model to her sister. She's been a role model to me. I've been extremely impressed with how resilient this young lady is. This is completely unexpected. Her closest friends, closest teachers are utterly in shock that something like this would occur and that this would be a situation where if she was not being manipulated or coerced, that she would willingly walk into. It's just completely shocking.
I mean, one scenario is when you say she left her cell phone behind and her, her money, her credit cards, whatnot. It almost sounds like she just may have, gone to the back to say hello to a friend or somebody she knew, or just like a quick drop in and
Yep.
then meant to come right back.
We had some reports.
Like you said, she's not separated from her cell phone.
Correct. We had some reports that we've been unable to confirm that there was an argument that took place with a young gentleman inside of Boomer Jacks the evening of her disappearance. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, did maybe somebody say, come out and talk with me real quick, or let's just kind of hash something out. Let's have a discussion. Did she maybe get in the car thinking she was going to have a discussion and then it didn't go the right direction and they took off, or he took off? Or was maybe I even thought maybe she was told some information inside of the restaurant and said, please go to the back, go outside, go to the vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening to these young ladies to where I don't know. I based on what I know about her, though, this is not something that I would ever in a million years anticipate that she would do willingly.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest frustration right now?
I think my biggest frustration is that when people start to use the word runaway or make assumptions about a voluntary runaway, um, you start to lose attention. People feel like, well, maybe this is just a family matter, or maybe this will go away. But the narrative that I've been ensuring people are aware of is that you still have a minor young lady. She's just turned 16 years old. She is not making decisions that might be in her best interest, and she may be in an environment where she is potentially at risk of being exploited. My biggest fear is that she's being trafficked, or that there's maybe some level of abuse that's taking place that she can't control or that she can't get out of.
So no matter what has happened, whether or not she left willingly, right? She's still a minor. She just turned 16. We don't know if she's safe. So we have to figure out, we have to find her because we have to know that she's safe. And so that's where the focus should be.
Yes, the drive is getting a young lady, Lexi, home safely and having her whereabouts verified. That is what, as parents, That's what, as a society, that we should expect of a young lady. She should be home with her family, and she should be able to be having access to the resources she might need. The resources are not the streets. The resources are not these people that are creating this false narrative that somebody has run away.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all that you are doing for her, and I can only imagine how difficult this is. But you have been so strong these last few days, and really been pushing so hard for her. Um, it's, it's really amazing.
Thank you, thank you. I would be lying if I didn't say I feel beaten sometimes, um, but I'm not going to give up.
What do you want to say to Lexi if she can somehow see this?
That I love you very much, and you know this. I love you, I love you, I love you, and no matter what happens, the one thing that is perfect is my loyalty to you and your sister. We got this.
Yeah. Well, hang in there. We will keep saying prayers for you. Thank you so much for being on Inside Crime, and we'll do what we can to help spread the word about Lexi.
Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless the numerous people that have reached out to support us. Humanity has really shined through, and we're utterly and completely blessed. Thank you.
Once again, Alexis Cavazos was last seen Saturday, February 6th at Boomer Jack's Grill and Bar in Dallas, Texas. She's about 5'10" and 150 pounds. Everyone, please help us spread the word and share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Inside Crime. Thanks, everyone.